The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Penna, in your written testimony, you pointed out that there's a lot of areas in regard to biosecurity and biodefense, but you said they're under-incentivized by the private markets. What incentives are needed for biosecurity and biodefense?
Thank you for the question. I think generally pandemic preparedness has been under-incentivized by the private market because pandemics are difficult to predict and they don't represent a reliable customer segment essentially for the private market. And so that's where government needs to step in and provide appropriate incentives for that, and that would include supporting the development of some of the approaches we've heard today, including methods for detection, methods for response, platform technologies to enable our countermeasures development. All of those would be needed.
But shouldn't you also be anticipating that the weaponization of biologics?
Thank you for the question. I personally hope that I never need to anticipate that, but I think anticipating risks is an important part of what we do to protect the American people. And so thinking about ways we can prevent those risks from occurring is an important component of preparedness.
Shouldn't we be investing in that security and biodefense?
Yes.
No one wants to anticipate it.
Yes.
No one wants to conceive that any nation would be so heinous toward another nation that they would unleash a biological weapon. But shouldn't we be investing in that type of defense?
Yes, I believe it's a bipartisan issue to improve our biosecurity preparedness, and that is prevention of both accidental, deliberate, and natural threats.
You said something else. You had something else in your written testimony that raised some concerns for me. You said frontier AI companies can voluntarily report their safety evaluations to the U.S. Center for AI Standards and Innovation. I mean, it's illegal to conduct operated biological lab. It surprised me to think that there's no law, no mandate to require people to report their safety evaluations.
That's correct. A legislative proposal would be needed in order to ensure that. Currently, reporting is voluntary to the U.S. CASE, and they set standards but no requirements.
But this should not just be a U.S. issue, shouldn't it be an international issue?
I agree.
Do you know of any cases where something bad happened or there was a safety evaluation that determined a bad outcome that was not reported?
I think what I am more concerned about are models and companies that do not conduct any evaluations, where we really lack clarity as to the capabilities of those models. So I'd like to see more investment internationally in government capabilities for evaluations and safety testing.
Dr. Diggins, you made a statement about a researcher that somehow wound up carrying a smallpox sample to his home. And Mr. McKnight, you made a comment about biological agents could be produced in your garage, both of which is illegal. Is that something that we need to address? I mean, you can't operate a lab outside a secure location, and that is an international law. So do you know of instances where people are using artificial intelligence to produce proteins that could be a problem? Or any protein, for that matter. Either one of you, both of you can respond.
Thank you for the question. The smallpox issue occurred in 2006, before the industry had really thought through a lot of these security-related concerns. That wouldn't happen today.
Okay.
But you're correct that there are very few regulations that control the physical possession of individual sequences, proteins, not whole genomes, not whole organisms, but individual sequences.
Okay.
And so the government
And
put in more
very
thought
quickly,
into this.
because I have one last thing I want to ask Dr. Penna. Go ahead.
I just addressed the larger question of bioweapons. The reality is, every time we have taken a base science and turned it into an engineerable discipline, chemistry, physics, computing, those have been used in human conflict. It would be the anomaly in human history at the frontier of engineered biology that over 50 years, some actor, nation state, or individual or group doesn't try to do it.
Well, I'll just say this for all three of you. I was going to address it to Dr. Pena because she mentioned it in her written testimony. We need recommendations for what this subcommittee, what this committee needs to do to bring before Congress. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
The gentleman yields.